All right, guys, we're gonna run through this. I'm so excited. All right, let's do this, guys. Hi, woo! My name's Hedi. I am director of. Thank you so much. Director of stand-up for Lit Comedy. Lit is Laugh Index Theater. If you were not sure, thank you for this little one right here with the arms and everything. We're excited to have you. We know you're so excited, and you have no idea what's going. She's like, she's done with us. We're not entertaining enough. That's okay. I've had worse actually. So I feel like anytime someone leaves during your set, it makes you a stronger comedian. So that was a little pop-up. I wasn't expecting that. This is going to be hilarious for me. Guys, thank you. Most people are only here for the cookies. Let's be serious. Guys, I'm so excited you're here. This is actually technically our last official-ish stand-up only show. It's been quite a season. We started off all together, and then it was like, oh, we're all behind a screen now. So things are weird is what I'm saying. All these things. Yeah, we don't know what's going on. There's still no one has an answer. Are schools opening? Are they not? I don't have kids. Miss Bridget, are schools opening? You can like nod or something. Or she's like, I don't know. Gosh, like pull out my hair. Jesus. Guys, no one knows. It's confusing, but let's talk about some funny things, get our mind off of it. Let's see. You guys want to talk about some, let's talk about babies, actually. Bridget, you inspired me to talk about the babies. You seem to be familiar with them. So I have 3 older sisters, and I have 5 nieces and nephews. And I was hanging out with one of my sisters who has a 7-month-old. And we're taking a walk with her 7-month-old. And I was like looking at my niece, and I was like, you're so boring. Like, Bridget, aren't babies super boring? I guess you don't have to answer me, but I'm assuming you love them. It's okay. Like, you can be honest here. This is a safe space. Yeah, that's what I thought. I just think babies are boring. Like, I was looking at my niece and I was like, okay, so you're not lively. You are not exciting. You are basically just lying here on your back, which is also how I am during sex sometimes. So she actually is taking after her auntie Hedi. We are definitely related. Super proud of my little niece right there. I'm kidding though. I do. I'll get on top. Okay, I'll do it. I'll do the work. Ladies, I can see you. You ever ride dick so hard your boobs get whiplash? Anyone? Tiffany? Okay, that's what's up. Yeah, stop it. You stop that now, okay? He doesn't deserve that at all. He's just happy to be in you, okay? You just do the bare minimum that you need to do. Just chill out a little bit. Just like move a little bit. The end result, I promise you, is the exact same regardless, okay? There's no extra credit for working a little too hard, okay? Relax. If he's like, oh, baby, put on a show for me, you put on Netflix for him, okay? That's the show right there. You'll both enjoy that more, I promise you. I just got really heated about that. Something interesting has been happening for me. I've sort of started seeing my former college fuck buddy again. So yeah, it's super new. It's interesting though, because I feel like, we're grown up now. We're more mature. Because we used to just be like a couple of 20-year-olds having mediocre sex in a twin bed. But now, times are different. Like we're a couple of 30-year-olds having mediocre sex in a queen bed. So it's just, yeah, it's going pretty well. A decade really does make a difference, to be honest. What else, guys? I have a cat, which most of you probably don't know. Yeah, I would show you him, but he doesn't give a shit about me doing comedy. He just he lies on his side, usually, not his back. That's a position for me to do. He's just chilling right now. His name's Morpheus Eagle, in case you were wondering. Yes, that's right. Molly knows what's up. Morpheus Eagle. That's his name. And if you're like, oh my God, Hedi, that's the literal best name I've ever heard. Thank you. I know. I'm actually going to be writing a book of kitty cat names. Let me give you a little example. So we got Lucifer Titanium. What? I know, right? If it's a girl, Lilith Titanium. That is so, right? Okay, I like to educate in my sets. Lilith, actually in Jewish mysticism, was actually Adam's first wife. but she was like a little too ahead of her time. Yeah, that's right. Write this, guys, write this down. This is notes for you, okay? And she was all like, F you, Adam, I will not wash your loincloth. And God was like, oh, no, we cannot have this. So he got rid of her, and then he made Eve, and she was like, oh, I'll do it. So she set us back a few hundred years. So don't name your kitty cats Eve, name them Lilith. That's a nice, strong name. I like that name. Guys, I'll leave you with this about Morpheus Eagle. He's the most important man, I guess, in my life, because whatever, former college fuck buddy, no one cares. Guys, I get being a mommy now. Like, I get, Bridget, I get you, okay? I understand, like, being tired all the time. I get being anxious all the time. I get the lack of privacy. Oh, my God. I'll be in the bathroom, you know, doing my thing. And then Morpheus Eagle comes in, and he's like, are you going to bury that? And I'm like, yes, I'm going to bury that. Like, I got a litter box big enough for the both of us. Like, we save water in my house is what I'm saying. I was in my bed the other night, and I was using my vibrator, and Morpheus Eagle jumped up, looked at me, looked at the vibrator, looked at me, and he was like a little bit judgy. Okay, like, I'm not going to lie. And I was like, okay, listen, mommy is not flexible like you. If I could lick my own pussy, I would do it. But sometimes mommy needs help. So needless to say, I didn't come that night because it was just like a little awkward. So we're going to work on some boundary settings. It's just, you know, you love him, but you hate him at the same time. Bridget, you know what's up. All right, guys, we're going to get the show started. You have so many funny comedians. Again, my name's Hedi, director of House Comics for Lit Comedy. I'm so happy to welcome such an awesome lineup tonight. They're amazing. Without further ado, she's hilarious. This is her first season with Lit Comedy. She's hilarious. Give it up for Tiffany Harding. Woo!
Yeah, you tell them I'm hilarious, and you put all these standards on me that I cannot possibly meet. So I guess I got to start off by saying that I have. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yes, good. I start off by saying that I have an unfortunate problem, as you can probably see. I have temporary veneers right now, and a few days ago I'm having my coffee, and god damn it, I swallowed one of the damn things, and now I have half a smile and I whistle while I work. And it's so embarrassing, but I figure you're a comedian, why not make this work for me? So you're going to hear my set, and you're going to hear a delightful whistle when I give my jokes, as it were. So I'm not rich enough to go run out and get them replaced automatically, but as the comedy demons deemed it, I get them replaced permanently tomorrow. So this happened when I was very young, and during my childhood, I had my teeth got messed up, and so I had them replaced. You know, my parents had them replaced with veneers, and I getting them replaced. My parents have always been a big part of my life. My mom watched me and my little brother grow up into the fucked up adults that we are today. And even though we are messed up, my parents are good, decent people. Okay? Not like me and Trey, my little brother, at all. And I think they grew up. I mean, when we were growing up, they wanted to see us be good, nice people. I mean, our family would like the first 10 minutes of a Tyler Perry Christmas, you know, so happy and sweet. And I left home for the first time in 1998, and I went to college. And then my brother, he went 4 years later to join the Army. Do the math and you'll figure out how great an idea that was. We never really had a Christmas together as a whole family, me, mom, dad, and my brother, for a long, long time. So after, I have a really interesting story about what happened in the year 2014 when we were all together for the first time in years. And I think my mom discovered that we weren't babies anymore. It wasn't that happy family when she figured out what the world did to us. One of my friends decided to get me a copy of the game, Cards Against Humanity. And my mom had retired by this time. She is an older lady, a woman of a certain age, as they call her. She likes to cook. She likes to clean. She likes to watch The View all day. One of those kind of moms. And so she saw the game and she's like, oh, I heard Carolyn or Marilyn or Marianne or Mary Beth or whoever the hell it is on daytime TV say that's a real cool game. And me and my brother looked at each other like, we knew it was coming. She's like, can I play with y'all? And we were like, I don't know about this. She's like, oh, come on. I'm hip. I'm cool. I'm with it. I know what's going on. Let me play with y'all. But she said, okay, all right, fine. And so we were trying to keep it as good as possible, laughing at her jokes when she played a card. Then it happened. My brother put down a card that said, why am I sticky? And so she put down a card. She said, I'm trying to play. I don't know what this means, but I'll play it anyway. I have no idea. The card said bukkake. So me and Trey looked at each other and she's like, did I win? And then he was like, oh yeah, you won. And then he left the room. She's like, oh, why? Why did I win? What does this mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? He's like, nope. And he left. I was so mad at him. And to this day, I will never forgive him. This is a true story. He said, oh, you won. And then he left. He abandoned me in my hour of need because that means I have to explain to my mother. Yes, she did win. I had to explain to my mother what bukkake means. And I said, Mom, you don't want to know. You know what? She's like, I'm old enough. I've been around the world. I know exactly what it means. I've been there. I've been hip. I grew up during the 70s. I know some stuff. I'm like, you don't know this. I'm like, all right. Okay, Mom, there's this ancient Japanese tradition. Wait, okay. If you take a tarp and lay it down on the ground and you have a nice lady volunteer. No. When many men love a single woman, no. So I just Googled it on my phone and I did like this. And she was like, oh my God, how do you know what this means? You haven't done this, have you? I'm like, Mom, no, what kind of person do you think I am? She's like, I can't believe, is that why Trey ran out the room? He knows this too. I'm like, Mom, he was in the army, for God's sake. He toured in Iraq. I'm sure they know what this is. She's like, I can't look at y'all this way anymore. I am shocked. I am offended. This is disgusting. Oh, but I still won the game though, right? I swear to God. I'm done. I'm done. Thank y'all.
Tiffany was having a hard time. Okay, let's go for Tiffany. Woo!
Yeah, don't drag
Your next comic, he is super duper funny. I have really great vocabulary, obviously. He's hilarious. I'm so happy he's here. Please give it up for EJ! Woo!
All right. Thank you, guys. So, when you guys see me, do I look like a pothead drug dealer to you guys? Because I think I look like I play in a Christian rock band, like Scott Stapp and Creed. But I was actually arrested in high school for dealing drugs. You guys remember when temporary tattoos were cool? I got a giant fire-breathing dragon and put it on my left forearm. It was huge. Took up my whole arm. Like when you saw me, you would see the dragon first, and then you'd be like, is that EJ? And I had on like a Led Zeppelin shirt, and I had a chain wallet from Hot Topic. I looked like a criminal. It was a phase. And that was the day I decided to cut class and go to lunch with my two Mexican buddies from shop class because I wanted to practice my gringo Spanish. Seems innocent enough. You know, I'm just like a white cholo. They didn't tell me they were drug dealers. Or maybe they didn't Spanish and I didn't get it. They were probably like, dude, we're drug dealers. And I was like, oh, sí, almuerzo, which is lunch in Spanish. we went to a taco place in my dad's car, and the whole time we were being followed by an undercover cop car. And we're in there, and they're like, "Hey, Jefe, we got to make a couple stops to Sabe." Like I was their Uber driver. Meanwhile, the cops are behind me like, "Shh, yeah, we got a 1031 illegal drug activity. Following boy with the dragon tattoo." The whole time I was thinking, man, this is awesome. I wonder if I can get extra credit for this. My amigos didn't know they were extra credit, and I didn't know I was a chauffeur for a cartel. We were both getting what we wanted, but we get back after lunch, and we see the cop car behind me, and they're like, "Ese, policia!" And I see the flashing lights behind me, and I was like, "Officer friendly with the dare demonstration?" And they're scared, but I got out, and I was like, "With arms wide open." And they put me in handcuffs and slammed me on the cop car. And they searched the car, and they found toothpicks, a lighter, and eye drops, which they said was drug paraphernalia. This was my dad's car, and it was drug paraphernalia. It was my dad's drug paraphernalia, and I had no idea. I went home. I was like, "Dad, we got to talk." I was pissed. I was like, "Are you spending my college money on dope?" And he was like, "Come on, man. It's just a lighter." And I was pissed. I was like, "I'm lucky you didn't have drugs in the car. Where are they, by the way?" And I found out he keeps a corncob pipe and a bag of weed in a Folgers coffee container in our garage. It's the best part of waking up. Most dads go out in the garage and fix the car, and my dad wakes and bakes and talks to the dog. My dad was a college pothead, and he just never gave it up. So he was a college pothead, and then an adult pothead, and then father pothead. And he's actually a reverend, so I call him Father Pothead. This is true. He's actually a reverend. He paid online $20 to be a reverend, or half a bag of his shitty weed. But he's not stingy. Like, anytime my brother and I came home from college, he'd say, "Now, don't go getting into trouble looking for drugs, because they're in the garage." And after my mom would go to sleep, he'd be like, "So, you guys want to do a bowl?" And she pretends we're out there praying. You know, it's the Catholic way. My dad just wanted us to be safe, you know. He was like, "There's cocaine in the toolbox if you really need it. There's LSD and pills in the nuts and bolts. And there's shrooms in the minivan." And that's my dad. Thank you guys very much.
Woo! Guys, keep it going for EJ and his dad. Is your dad, did he not want to come to this show, EJ? Was he like, "No, just don't call me out. I want them to see my father pothead face"?
I wanted to try it out first. I
Is
haven't
he too high to support you? Is that what's really going on? This is your cry for help right now. We get it. We see you. Guys, yeah, if you're religious, maybe don't go to your clergy for advice. Maybe like actually see a therapist or something. Apparently everyone's just on drugs. I don't know. All right, guys, we're going to keep the show rolling. Thank you, EJ, one more time. Your next comedian, he is so funny. I want another word for funny. Put it in the chat. Like very funny, super funny. Those are all the things. Hilarious is a good one. That's all we got. That's what we're working with. But he's both those. He's funny and hilarious. Please give it up for Evie. Woo!
What's going on, everybody?
Hey.
Yo. EJ, your dad texted me. He's too high to find the link. That's the issue. But he tried really hard to make it. He tried super hard. No, thank you everybody for joining us and celebrating digital comedy in this weird world. It's definitely been like an emotional year for me. My tits just came in, which is it's like a weird time. The transition, I think, felt a lot like what a teenage girl kind of goes through too. Like my nipples got really sensitive. I've been sort of nervous in anticipation because all my friends got theirs first. And boys finally started catcalling me, which is what I call it when they shout pussy at me when I'm walking past the street. But I definitely know what it feels like to be a woman now. But I think I've been trying to handle it by taking a page from like Judy Blume's book. I've been writing to God about my problems a lot. Penning all my letters. Are you there, God? It's me, Evie, and I have titties now. I thought it would help, but like then I started getting cease and desist letters, which is weird. Because apparently, when you're a 14-year-old girl and you write to God about your tits, it's like a coming of age story. But when I do it, it's sexual harassment. So I'm not. I don't like the double standards. It's kind of weird, but I think a lot of people have been pushing me on this sort of body positivity thing. Like they want me to embrace who I am, and so they've been telling me every morning I should go in front of a mirror and just say, "Evie, you are a snack." Which I'd love to do, but I'm supposed to be laying off the fatty foods, so it seems kind of productive to my diet. But, I do have dad bod for those of you that can't see below the screen. Which is kind of depressing because I don't have kids. Like I wonder what happens when I actually do get kids. Like, does this get worse? Do I start lactating? Am I handed divorce papers? I don't know what the situation is. I feel like having dad bod without having kids is a lot like having tennis elbow from like masturbating too much. Like you didn't get that the right way. You know, you can hide up behind the clever lie, which is nice though. It's the same reason I tell people that I got swimmer's ear from taking too many laps at the pool. When in reality, I just really like to lay down in the shower depressed a lot. But you know, I don't know if anybody here ever falls asleep in the shower in the mornings. I do that like all the time. For me, like every shower is a life and death situation because if I ever do fall asleep in there with my mouth open, the threat of drowning is very real. And that's not a phone call like I want my parents to be having with cops. Like those aren't questions I want them to be asking. You know, did he take his own life, your officer? He probably should have. Honestly, this is a lot worse than that. You know, is foul play suspected. Honestly, this was child's play. He died napping, so it's not really. There's no investigation really. I think according to a lot of my female friends, they've been saying like dad bod is like they're saying it's a sign of maturity and women are attracted to it, which is I think ironic because I've been eating like a child to get this way. Like I didn't know peanut M&Ms are like a sign of stability. So if that's what they're looking for, I've got a 401k too, and it's slathered in cheese. So I think a lot of people I've been missing going out and sitting at restaurants and things like that. I actually went for the first time last weekend. I went to a seafood restaurant on a patio, and I was taking all these precautions and everything, but nobody else there was. It was just all these people sitting without masks and protection. And then all the waiters had like full riot gear on, you know, like aprons and gloves and those plastic covers. And these people that were doing nothing to try to be protected still had the irony to just ask them, you know, what's the catch of the day? Like it's still the virus, assholes. Like you should probably get the hell out of here. I don't know. I think during this time I've been trying to find myself like sexually because I've had a lot of time on my hands. I think I said that wrong. I've been spending a lot of time in my hands. I'm just trying to find out like what am I into, like what are my kinks, how much chafing can I really handle. And I recently found out like there's one thing that will get me aroused more than anything else in the world, and it's standing in line at a grocery store behind a man that's being refused service because he won't wear a mask. Like I just get rock hard like immediately. I realize like that was my thing. Like he's threatening to talk to a manager, and I'm just standing behind him, rubbing my nipples and just egging him on. Yeah, threaten to call a lawyer. Yeah, absolutely. You know, tell him what the founding fathers would have wanted. Yeah, start citing your constitutional rights. I'm almost there. Apparently, that's my thing. I don't know. I think like a lot of folks, I've missed watching live sports during this time. Like I used to go to a lot of games and stuff. So I've been watching a lot of old reruns of sports championships. I realized like you never really hear athletes who grew up with money like thank the places they came from when they win. It's always like the ones that came from disenfranchised communities, which makes sense because like if like a privileged athlete wins something and wants to thank where he came from, like it doesn't sound as cool. Like there's nothing cool about it. Like if LeBron was rich growing up and he like brought that championship home from Cleveland, and he goes to accept the trophy and he says, Hamptons, this is for you. It just doesn't. It's not the same ring. Martha's Vineyard, we did it. Like this one goes out to all the kids who grew up on the streets of the Principality of Monaco. I just want you guys to know you can all do this. I'll end by saying this, that I don't know if anybody here is like those we did it people with their sports teams. Like you guys take credit when your sports teams wins, which I think is always kind of weird. Sort of like what an abusive stepfather would do, take credit for success, but emotionally destroy you when you lose. And it's just weird because like we're fans. We're just like audience members, like we don't do that for other industries. Like I watched Leonardo DiCaprio in The Revenant in theaters, which was an incredible movie. It's a made-for-TV Lifetime movie of a man who survives a sexual assault from a bear and lives to tell the tale. But I don't know if I saw that the right way. Either way, he won the Oscar, and nobody that paid to see it, watching him accept the award was like, wow, I can't believe we won the Oscar for that. We did it, guys. Like, thank you so much. We did it. Just feels kind of weird. Like none of you guys right now are going, wow, we totally killed this set. We crushed it tonight. What an awesome set we had. All right, I'll end it there, guys. I'll cap my time. Thank you so much.
Woo! Thank you, Evie. Evie, don't worry. We didn't crush that just happened. We did an okay job with it, so don't you worry. We're with you. No, guys, I feel like you made a good point. Like, if you don't sit on the floor crying in the shower, like, are you even showering though if you're not crying at the same time and like rocking back and forth? Like, come on, like, just take a bath or something, like. We're all in this together kind of thing. So that's awesome. Evie, thank you so much one more time. Your next comic, she is hilariously funny. Ooh, nice. I'm too proud of myself. All right, let's keep this show rolling. So many good comics for you guys. Give it up for Simone. Woo!
Thank you. Thank you. So good to know I'm both hilarious and funny. And I'm hilariously funny. That's so great. Okay, so I am the youngest of 5 children, and I know that I am not my parents' favorite child. No, that would be my brother because he came first, and well, he makes the most money. In the favoritism rankings, I come in a solid 3rd place, behind my sister, who visits my parents weekly because she didn't move across the country to follow her dreams. But I'm ahead of my 2 brothers, who also moved away, but never bother to call, text, or even Facebook message our mother. While I'm not the favorite, I do contend that I'm the best child. Hear me out. My argument stems from my lack of life fuck-ups. I never got up to the typical things a Midwestern teen does. I never stayed out all night like my tramp of a sister. I didn't get pulled over for drunk driving like those bottom of the rankings brothers. I've never been knocked up accidentally. Well, neither has my sister. But our brothers are guilty of a fair amount of knocking up, so there is that. I didn't boomerang home. I've never had to borrow money. I was easy to raise. Therefore, I am the best child. Now, throughout the coronavirus outbreak, I've been trying to climb my way up the favoritism rankings by checking in on my parents, every few days, just make sure they're still alive. They live in Michigan, and that state is a hot mess, so you gotta check. During one of these check-ins, I decided to present my argument on why I am the best child. Again, even if I'm not the favorite child. At the end of which, my mother responded, "But you did do that one thing." What one thing did I do wrong growing up? I stole toilet paper from our church. Yes, the year was 2005. I was a senior in high school and I had just perfected my Ashley Simpson emo girl side swept bangs look. My best friend had recently broken up with her boyfriend, a piece of human trash, and we needed to exact revenge on him. I'm a big fan of TPing houses because think about it. It's the most pragmatic way to prank someone. It's inconvenient without causing property damage, gets your point across without being a heinous asshat. Now, to add to my list of glowing attributes, I taught pre-K and kindergarten Sunday school. As a Catholic, we call this catechism. As a teenager, I called it baby Jesus class. This meant I had access to our church's youth center and its supplies, making it the perfect mark for my toilet paper heist. Because honestly, I wasn't going to waste money on toilet paper to throw at this garbage person's house. I'm practical to a fault. If you take a moment to remember a time when you used a public bathroom, you might recall they do not stock standard size rolls of toilet paper. No, what I stole was the industrial size rolls, which are not great for hucking into trees. This was before I found yoga and I didn't have my Michelle Obama arms at the time, so it was a workout. Yeah, but did the job. It was probably my most glorious high school moment. Then cut to my mom needing to borrow my car one day because hers was in the shop, and I had forgotten about 3 or 4 contraband rolls were still in the trunk. When questioned about where these gigantic rolls of toilet paper had come from and why I could possibly need such a thing, I cracked. And I admitted that I had stolen them from the church. My mother was a form of livid I had seen only once, the day my middle brother called her a bitch after she had bought him a horse, the day he forever cemented his favoritism ranking as 5. That's the kind of anger we're talking about here. She called the church and told our priest that I would be coming over to return something and he would need to hear my confession. So off I went to the church with some stodgy toilet paper in my trunk that no one would ever want to use again, and also off to seek mercy for my soul. When I told our priest, Father Rick, what I had done and why I had done it, he laughed in my face. I could count his gold fillings. That's how hard he was laughing at me. There were 4, by the way. But then he was a total homie about it. He told me to keep the toilet paper. He didn't require me to say a single Hail Mary. My soul was clean. So if we go back to this story's origin, I'm still arguably the best child in my family. None of my siblings' hijinks have been blessed by a representative of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So, I win. All right, thank you.
Woo! Thank you, Simone. I feel like I'm so glad dentistry is so much better now that like, you don't have to see people's gross fillings anymore. Like that's a lot. Anyways, he's your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Come on. Not everyone's Catholic on this show, Simone. Jesus. Oh, God. It's also funny because it's like the Messiah, but he's also a curse word. Like, what's going on with that? I don't know. Questions only Jesus can answer, I guess. God, it just keeps coming. All right, guys. Are we feeling good? We're having a good time so far? Hit up the chat. That's so fun. I'm like reading it as it's happening. I'm like, oh, my God, LOL. This is hilarious. So get in there. It's a good time. But you're next to me, and I'm so excited to welcome her to the stage that we have set up. Please give it up for Diana. Woo!
Hey, y'all. Hey. So we are living in some crazy times. You know, we got the COVID-19, but we also have all these protests, people in the streets. protesting against police brutality and wanting to reform the criminal justice system. And, they're like, Black Lives Matter. And then basically asking the police, specifically white people generally, to just stop killing Black people. But what these companies heard is, we won't take Aunt Jemima off the pancake box. What? Who asked for that? What did my auntie do to you? My auntie didn't do nothing but provide you with a blueprint for some pancakes. Plus, I don't trust it. Like, they say they're going to come up with a better name, but Aunt Jemima has been around since 1889, okay? And over the years, people have asked them to change their name, and they're like, no, it's good. It's cool. So now, all of a sudden, they're going to have a better name. What does progress look like to them? Like, we are gonna be eating baby mama Jamisha pancakes, okay? Please. I don't trust it. And then in addition to that, I don't know if y'all saw this, but Texas, some realtors were like, we are gonna stop saying master bedroom. What? Did we ask for that? How sensitive do they think Black people are? Like, do they think we don't know homonyms? I don't understand. Like, what am I supposed to call cotton candy when I go to the fair? Do I have to call it like a sugary, fluffy cloud or something? Or like, are we gonna get to a point where like Black people can say words, but not white people? Like, only Black people can sing Daz Band's "Whip It, Baby," whip it right. Well, it's whip it, baby. Actually, that's probably just been for Black people all along. So just forget that. I live in DC, and I own a house. And the reason that I was able to get my house is because I live in a Black neighborhood. Well, it's changing. Like, I can see the signs of gentrification bubbling on, and the big sign is when you see like the gray houses. Actually, it's like a whole thing that they go to Home Depot and ask for, right? They have like white is right color, and then they have gentrifying gray, and then they have we coming for you navy blue. So when you see those color combos in the neighborhood, the white people, they are coming, right? So I'm like walking around my neighborhood, and I might say, like, they have done some great things to these houses, because white people don't believe in curtains or blinds, and it's very great for when I want when I want to get like home decorated tips, okay? And I just be in the window like, is that? They knocked that whole wall down. Okay. Let me see, what kind of rug is that? I'm really loving this decor. Yes. And so for the longest time, I couldn't understand, why are they painting all of the houses the same color? And then I figured it out. It's a code. It's like the gentrification Underground Railroad, right? But back in the day, it was like, follow the North Star. But now it's like, follow the bike path. That's how they get, to their places. And so, in slavery times, though, the songs were sad. It was like, follow the drinking gourd. But this is capitalism, okay? So the song is like, follow the bike path to buy you a home and push out some Black people. So anyway, the white people get to the neighborhood, they follow the bike path, and the neighborhood still looks a little sketchy, right? And then they see it, a gray house, and then somebody's like, psst, come inside. And they're like, who sent you? And they say, a friend of a friend. And they say, we know this neighborhood might look a little sketchy, but don't you worry. We're on it. We're working on getting some resident-only parking, okay? We're trying to get a dog park up the street, okay? And word on the street is we're about to get a vegan cupcake yoga pet store studio, okay? So you want to be here in this neighborhood. So go ahead, buy this property. We got your back. We have to tell you, one candle in the window means the Trader Joe's is coming. 2 candles in the window means we throw tea in the Potomac River to fight for statehood. We leave at dawn. Okay, no, that's too much. But anyway, this is my theory, okay? That is the code, is the Underground Railroad code. And so my neighborhood is changing. But the one place where it all happens and everything intersects and you can see like all the people coming together is the liquor store, okay? Now the liquor store in my neighborhood, before the white people moved in, it was rough, okay? It was dark inside. They only sold cases of Corona and Heineken and Hennessy. That was it. And then they had a fire, which I'm like, I don't know. You don't have a kitchen, and I ain't never seen no fire trucks across the street, but whatever. So they had a fire, and then they reopened, and they had renovated inside and everything, and it's bright, and it's airy, and they have craft beer selections, and they have fancy wines. Sometimes they even have wine tastings. What? And like, if you're really nice, they'll give you a glass or like a little shot glass with your drink. Whoa, okay. So it's changed. It's changed. But they recognize that the neighborhood has not changed all the way. And so they kept that bulletproof window up because they ain't crazy. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Woo! Thank you, Diana.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like you just like spoke to like, I don't know. Diana just kills it every time. She makes me so mad because she just says the craziest shit I've ever heard, but it's also really true. So thank you, Diana, one more time. Don't tell anyone where you live because that's just, we want to keep you safe and have cheaper renting and house of what? Cost of living. My God, this show is driving me insane. But guys, we're in the home stretch. I'm so excited to welcome your next meet. This is his second year being with Lit Comedy, actually. He's a super funny guy. Give it up for Ed. Woo!
Thank you. But, it's the end of days. It's the bottom of the ninth. It's a minute to midnight. Show's almost over. That's all, folks. I mean, come on. There's a global pandemic. Blood in the streets. Climate's changing. Evie's growing tits. Tiffany's swallowing her teeth. There's an orange-haired antichrist. I mean, what more do you need? Is God got to put up like a billboard like coming soon, the end? Or do you need like a movie trailer like Son O' God Films presents In a World Where Chaos Reigns? Can anyone ever survive? So, all this stuff has had me thinking kind of spiritually lately. I was raised a Catholic. For those of you that aren't Catholic, I'm sorry, you're going to hell. Hedi. And it was, I'm Catholic enough where like I won't watch The Exorcist. And I'm old school Catholic enough where I can remember when we couldn't eat meat on Fridays. Now, I personally know people doing time in Purgatory for taking a bite out of a meatball sub on a Friday, okay? Now, for those who don't know, Purgatory is heaven's waiting room. Now, if you're like Gandhi or Mother Teresa or John Lewis, you go straight to heaven. But if you're like most people, you try and be good, but, you fucked up a lot. So, you're not heaven ready, shall we say. So Purgatory, think of it as like the deli in the supermarket. You go and you get a ticket and you look and your ticket is like 800 gazillion, 40 trillion, 412. And you look up and the counter's on 17. You gotta wait your turn. Now, as Catholics, we have a ceremony every week. We call the Mass. That's where we get the cookie, and you have to go or else you're going to go to hell. And it used to be that the priest would have his back to the congregation and say the ceremony in Latin, which is like going to a magic show and the magician's facing the rear curtain and talking in Klingon. Now, the church got hip after 2,000 years, and the priest now does it towards the congregation and in English. But folks, it's the same show every week. I mean, look, I love Seinfeld, but if I had to watch the Soup Nazi episode every week, I'd go nuts. Now, also, when I was young, I was taught by nuns. And back in the 60s, nuns were everywhere. Now they're like white rhinos. And that, I think, is due to society accepting lesbians and the gay lifestyle more, which is a good thing. But nuns, through mental and physical torture, bordering on felony child abuse, taught you that God loves you. And nuns were like ninjas. I mean, they dressed all in black, and everything around them was a weapon. You know, piece of chalk off the blackboard into your eye. You know, rulers, yardsticks, rosary beads. I mean, if we still had these kinds of nuns, and 3 divisions of them went to Afghanistan, our problems there would soon be over. So yeah, I've accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and personal Savior. I found Jesus in the 70s. It was at a rock concert in Watkins Glen. I was doing some major league hallucinogenics, and somehow I got separated from my friends, but then I saw him. He was standing on a puddle, talking to a girl selling hash pipes and dream catchers. And I recognized him from the pictures, you know, the beautiful hair, the well-coiffed beard, hippie chic robes, Birkenstocks, swimmer's build, holes in his hands, you know, the white people's Jesus, where Jesus probably looked more like Morty, your parents' accountant. Anyway, I went up to him. I said, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ. He said, I never heard that one before, Ed. I said, Lord, I'm really fucked up. Lord, I'm really high. And he said, don't worry, you're going to be fine, but you need to stay hydrated. Here, drink this water. So I took the water. That's not water, that's wine. Oh, the water to wine thing. I get it. He says, yeah, it's kind of my jam, Ed. So we walked around and he found my friends and he says, Ed, have a good life, but most importantly, be a good human being. And isn't that what all religions are about? Is just be a good human being. I mean, even all you atheists who are definitely going to hell, you can get behind like that sentiment, be a good human being. I mean, just from watching movies like E.T., you know, be good. Or, you know, Bill S. Preston Esquire and Ted Theodore Logan, their adventures, you know, they learned that people need to be excellent to each other. So we better start being excellent to each other, or it's going to be apocalypse now. Come on, people. Take care.
Woo! Thank you, Ed. Good stuff. Guys, your final comedian of the night. He's super funny. So happy he's here with us. Please give it up for Max. Woo! Where'd you go, Max? Did he just leave the meeting? Well, hang on a second. Well, okay. Here he is. Oh, thank God. That would have been so awkward. Max, we gotta find you. I hope you didn't mean to do that. He was like, this is my set. It's so good. Y'all aren't ready for it. So, guys, one more time. So happy to welcome to the show. Give it up for Max. Woo!
Wow. Thanks for the introduction, Hedi. So oddly enough, this show is being filmed in front of a live studio audience. We tried to do it in front of a dead audience once, but the coroner kicked me out. If you take your date to Olive Garden, are you still family? They need to revise their policy. Mount Olive Pickles is now a sponsor of the Make-A-Wish Foundation. I think that's really cocky. I don't know what sick kid wants to go to a pickle factory. I applied to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and I've got a strategy. Infinite wishes. One of them would probably be not to die. Sorry, my computer is doing something very strange right now, and I apologize for that. All right. The phrase sex act is a really terrible phrase. It sounds like Carol Channing in a golden shower or Hamlet giving a blowjob. Dyslexia is just Sentence the remix. I think cauliflower is doing far too much these days. Noodles, pizza, rice, drywall, rich uranium. It's too damn much. You stay in your lane. You are a chalky delivery vehicle for ranch dressing at boring parties. Inevitably, there will be some Zoom meeting where some boomer has a stroke and loses speech, and everyone just yells at him for the next 15 minutes that he is muted. When I inevitably die from choking on gummy bears, I hope people just say, bears killed him, and leave it at that. I am pro-masturbation. I think it is very important for a healthy adult to know what makes them happy. That is not an official government stance, at least according to those fascists at Waimata, who took away my Metro card. Fucking government, I am now paranoid. I think the feds are watching me. But not enough. At least according to my social media accounts. My following is pathetic. What does it take to get more likes from the federal government? I have already performed a variety of financial crimes, but I just keep getting political appointments. You know the deal, big brother. Like and subscribe. And check out my Patreon. I think all in all, Big Brother is a terrible name for surveillance. It implies that I have some sort of functional relationship with my family. Speaking as an older sibling, I do not give a shit about what my sisters do. We need a name for someone with a way to invest in what you do. Like high maintenance girlfriend. Single mom with only sons. Amazon. My cousin is now pregnant. She told me that she is going to baby-proof her house. I assume this is to keep out the neighborhood babies. You know what they say? When you see one, there's 1,000 in the walls. I had to go shopping for baby clothes for her. Why do so many neonate clothes have pockets? What does a baby do with a pocket? Who hands something to a baby and says, "Here, you hold this"? That baby's packing. She bought a giant tub of infant formula, and I had to tell her that she needs to slow down. She is already pregnant. She does not need to formulate another baby. Be happy with what you have. I'm kind of scared of her now anyway. She has become a bodybuilder. I tried to bodybuild, but they just keep kicking me out of the coroner's office. I think that's been my time and probably a bit.
Woo! It has been. Guys, give it up for Max. He's like our resident one-liner, basically. So thank you so much. Appreciate it. Y'all, that's our show. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with us and supporting live virtual comedy. We really appreciate it because as comedians, we still want a place to tell jokes and be funny and get validation, obviously, because that's why we do this. So you guys have been super great. Check out litcomedy.com where there's still more shows. There's improv and sketch as well. Obviously, stand-up is the best, of course. But we got classes. The next season starts in about 3 weeks, actually. So if you're like, oh my God, I'm intrigued, I want to do more, there's workshop, there's house teams like we are. So check us out. Also, if you feel like donating to us, we are a 5013C. I believe I said that right. I'm not a lawyer. Foundation. If you want to donate, we'd also really appreciate it too, because there's a scholarship for more diversity within Lit as well. So we want to do that. Otherwise, guys, you've been amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful night. Thank you. Woo!